Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
The Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast.
They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You are listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana, in the United States of America. We are artistic buffs talking about Disney stuff. And this is the show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. For this episode, we discuss Lee's recent trip to Walt Disney World. And look, this isn't your typical polished, practiced pixie dust and Disney podcast. No, sir. We are not in the parks every day reminding you to step out to your left. When the car stops, please step out to your left.
That's right, Kevin. We're here to drink, talk Disney, and find out how Lee survived the Disney Genie Plus on his recent trip.
And there'll be a lot of tears to this conversation, so you're just going to have to ride them all.
My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
I'm Eli.
That's right, guys. We're bringing you this show about Genie Plus, so when you get to the parks, you ain't got to cuss.
Gotta cuss.
Gotta cuss.
Cuz,
that's right.
Cussing.
We don't want no cussing, cuz.
Cussing.
So look, enough about jibber jabber and our cussing. Let's go discuss Lee's Genie Plus magic. Here we are on the hub, our main topic segment of the show. For this episode, we are discussing Lee's experience with Genie Plus. He's the first one out of our podcast group, to have experienced this technological wonder. And I am pretty curious to hear what he has to say about this, because I know I have a trip in July scheduled, and Danny's got a trip coming up, hopefully maybe in the next week or so, 2 weeks, depending.
We'll
when you listen
see.
to this, we'll see.
Fingers crossed, but I'm not exactly encouraged after our last conversation.
Oh, God.
But that's another story for another time.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Hopefully that works out, because I know you've been talking about the Disney Cruise thing, your experience the first time.
Yeah.
So hopefully that happens. But
We'll see.
Long time coming.
well, stay tuned for that show. We'll see if that happens, if we have a review or not, or a discussion about his trip. But yeah, make sure you listen to our previous show where we talked about Lee's must-dos and how he did. Now, before that, we released a whole series of must-dos, Walt Disney World style, where Lee cited his must-dos, and we double-checked him to see if he actually followed through with it. And it looks like he did 70% of the stuff that he said he must do, so it was pretty good. Not too bad. So for this one, we're getting into the nitty-gritty, some actual Genie Plus experience, lightning lane, individual selection, pay the extra money, Chapek. Let's see how the heck this thing freaking went. So, Lee, man, I'm going to turn it over to you, who's going to guide us on our journey. I have the document that you sent up in front of us about the Genie Plus, so I'm going to give you the reins, man. What do you want to talk about, and however you want to talk about it?
all right. So, yeah, I thought this would be a good idea, other than your typical trip report. You know, I had ice cream on Main Street, and I did
You
this,
didn't.
and
No, you didn't.
He didn't.
But
No. We found out.
Caught you.
Quit lying.
Gotcha.
But this was between all of us, again, our first experience with the new Genie Plus system. And, you know, I've been preparing for this for, about a year now, once we found out it was going to happen and all the ins and outs of it and this, that, and the other, and advised clients the best I could with the information I had at hand. But I got to actually take that knowledge and test it out this week and see how it goes. So, yeah.
With that being said, Lee, is everything that you've been prescribing to your clients about approaching Genie Plus, were you accurate, or you're like, oh my God, I got to go fix some things?
Yeah, I lied.
I would say that it's definitely 99% accurate. There's probably a little one-off here, and there's some situations that you didn't expect to happen that you may have to deal with. But the advice that we've been giving to clients, you know, first of all, was based off other agents' experience as well. And so I think that when it's all said and done, you know, if you're booked with me, you're going to get some good advice, and we're going to lead you the best we can to experience this with the most logical way you can.
With no hassle, Vika.
No hassle. Yeah, no hassle.
No hassle, Vika.
No hassle, V.
For what it's worth, I usually send my clients a little pamphlet about 30 days ahead of time, full instructions on how to do it. log into your account, look for this. Here's where you go at 7:00, that kind of thing. And then sometime about a week or two before their trip, I'll try to schedule a call so we can talk through it and kind of give you some strategies and some things that we've come across and best way to utilize and get the most out of the Genie Plus system. And I use those strategies as well, and they worked out pretty good. Again, there's a couple things were a little off. As expected, it's Disney, so there were some little technological problems here and there. But
No.
overall, yeah. Overall,
You're kidding.
It was a good experience, and I would definitely stick to what we've been saying as far as strategies and getting those certain passes and things like that. So,
All right.
so let's just jump into it.
right,
the first thing I would do is just kind of go through some basic things. This is some general rules that you need to know about how Genie works and things like that. So,
Okay.
if you're not familiar, if you have been living under a Disney rock the last year or so, this is the replacement for the Fast Pass Plus system. Now, Fast Pass, original Fast Pass, we had little papers we would go and, you grab a piece of paper and it'd tell you come back at 2:00 and you'd come back at 2:00 and you'd ride and you grab another paper, and that evolved into Fast Pass Plus, where you were booking your rides for certain times, 60 days out. And now we have arrived at the Disney Genie Plus, which is kind of a mix between the old system and the Max Pass system that Disneyland was using.
Which we love. I love the Max Pass system.
Yeah, me too.
I do too.
It's good stuff.
I was pretty excited when I found that this was working a lot like Max Pass. And we'll get into that a little later as far as a comparison, but it's basically the same system. I like to say if you use the old paper system, it's the same thing, except for it's on your phone. Instead of having to go over to the ride and pick up a piece of paper, you just do it on your phone.
Okay.
The wrinkle, of course, is the individual lightning lane selections, those extra things that you can purchase. There's one in each park right now. When they started this thing off, there was 2 in each park, but currently there's 1. And I'm sure they can change that later on and make it 2 again or 3 or however much they want to do. But right now there's basically 1 in each.
Why couldn't it be like Lightning Lane a la carte? Why does it have to be like individual Lightning Lane selections? That's like
I like that. Lightning Lane a la carte.
Yeah,
I like that.
It's like Disney a la noche, but Lightning Lane a la carte.
I like that.
Huh.
Lightning Lane Lanyap would have been good.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's good too. Nobody else would know what lanyard means except for us. But
That's okay. No one knows what individual lightning lanes are either. So
right, but if you say a la carte, it kind of makes sense. It's like it's not part of the Disney Genie Plus, but this is a little something that you can. I guess you pay for extra. If you
A la lane card.
Yeah, a la lane cards. A la lane cards. Yeah. But anyway, sorry, I don't mean to digress. I just thought about why don't they have a simpler name for that?
I would agree.
Why did they also? I would like a separate name other than Lightning Lane, because the Lightning Lane is basically the Fast Pass lane, but then you got the individual Lightning Lane. But yeah, you saw this the other day, right? Who posted on the page that there's an opening?
Oh, that was me. Yeah,
marketing
for
so,
PR head of PR for Walt Disney World. They posted a job on LinkedIn.
Maybe this is why.
Yeah, Jack Reacher posted that or something funny. I thought
He responded to it. Yeah, I threw that on there because I happened to be looking through LinkedIn. I'm like, oh, this is funny.
I thought he was trying to recruit people to see who did a murder in a small town, but that's a different Jack
They
Reacher.
need a new marketing director, man. After that last call Lee and I had with, I've never heard a Disney travel agent tell me, not Disney travel agent, what do you call it?
Disney
Disney cast member tell me that, if that happens, you're on your own.
Oh, what?
I've never had that happen before.
You're on your own, pal.
And she repeated it at least 2 to 3 times.
Wow, she must be a newbie.
Lee, you were on the phone call with me. Is that not what she said?
I would say that it was an interesting phone call, to say the least. She could definitely work on her presentation skills.
Yeah.
And,
her magic.
What puts you on your own? Can I ask that, or is that too personal?
Well, it's a long story. Well, not a long story. It's basically the whole idea of having to test before we go on this cruise.
Okay.
And we all have to
test until you get there.
Yeah, you can't test until you get to the port. And I'm like, but we got to get on a plane. Can we test like 2 to 3 days out and send you the results? And then if we're positive, then fine.
Well,
but here you can have our vaccination statuses. You can have everything you want. We'll give it to you, but we just don't want to spend the money to fly, get transportation to the port, and then find out that one of us, for whatever reason, contracted between then and the
which could happen. Yeah,
Which could happen. Yeah,
absolutely.
You're on a
could.
plane and everything.
You just When you book a vacation, you want that peace of mind.
True.
And basically, what we're told is that no matter what, you have to test at the port, and if you do test positive, quote unquote, you are on your own.
You on your own.
Hasta la vista, baby.
That's right.
You are in the forbidden land. You must take the forbidden walk alone.
Yeah.
Well,
Thing.
I mean, I don't want to get too off topic here, but I had a client that was in Disney the same week I was, and not her fault, but where did she? Her flight was canceled, and her flight was canceled. So she was supposed to come in on Saturday. All the flights were booked up, so she couldn't get in until Monday late. So she lost 2 park days, and because of that, she was fine with it. She didn't like it, but it was like it was nature. It wasn't anything that Disney did. And so she's like, well, look, I'm still coming, but unfortunately, I'm going to miss my Hollywood studio reservation day, and I want to be able to book a reservation for Hollywood Studios, but everything is sold out right now. All the reservations are booked. And so I was at the park, and I spent at least an hour and a half online. She spent 2 hours on hold. I had another agent that spent about 2 hours on hold, all trying to resolve this and say, look, if she's going to fly all the way here, she needs to know that she can get her reservation. And no one could tell us that she would be able to get into Hollywood Studios this week because, again, they were all booked up.
Wow.
Jeez.
Wow.
And no one could say 100% for sure, yes, you can get into the studios. Now, it all worked out, and she did get in, but, how is this a reservation where you're supposed to book, 6, 9, 8 months out, whatever it is, anytime you book immediately, then something changes, and then they're basically like, well, come on, and I'm sure it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And it was okay, but it's like, I told the cast member, I'm like, I don't feel comfortable telling this lady to fly, 2.5 hours to get here, and it should work itself out. Like, that's not
very Disney-like.
Yeah.
No, that's how we feel as well. We all feel like there's 9 of us going. Just the law of averages, that one of us might accidentally stumble across something. Maybe there may be a false positive. There's something happening. Shouldn't we know before we go? And I know a lot of people out there are going to be like, well, you can test before you go. Yes, you can. But there's still going to be, we're going to arrive on Thursday. We're going to be staying in a hotel room. And then we're going to take the the bus in on Friday to go ahead and do it. So there's still things that can happen in between there.
Just because you test at home here negative doesn't mean that something couldn't happen between
Exactly.
Well, you're surrounded by people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's, again, I know that's a little off topic, but it was interesting that situations there where it's like, man, like, I'm not real comfortable telling my client X. It's like, dude.
Well, that's what Disney's known for, the customer service, where if something goes wrong, Disney's going to go, they're not just going to make it right, they're going to go above and beyond to make it right.
Right.
And the idea of if something goes wrong,
you're on your own.
That's strange, man.
It's alien.
I was expecting you to say, oh, yeah, well, they were going to reach their manager. The manager hasn't got back to us yet. That's what I was expecting to go. That's why I didn't want to just leave it without that context. But no, I'd be scared for you.
Yeah.
Told me that. How'd you like that?
That's why I still talk about this cruise. Like, it's hard to get excited about something. And I even told it to the lady. I said it's hard to get excited about something that you arrive there on the day of, and one person tests positive, and the whole group goes home.
Yeah.
And
everybody's looking at you.
They basically said, well, we would say that anybody staying in your room has to go home. We would recommend that the whole party goes home, but they can't make the whole party go home. But
you're not going to leave your whole...
Yeah.
We all talked, and it doesn't even make any sense anyway, because we'd all be traveling together. Yeah. We'd all be on the same flight. We'd all be on the same bus getting over there. I mean, we're all staying in the same the hotel prior to leaving. So, I mean, the whole thing is just whack.
Okay.
It's a little funky.
Whack, yeah.
I'm sorry, Lee. Go ahead.
Yeah, so speaking of funky things...
You need to get that out.
Things, Disney Genie.
Disney Genie.
Yes.
That's funky thing.
You're on your own. Genie Plus. Oh, your own.
On your own. So you're paying $15 a day to get access to the Genie, the Lightning Lanes, the quote-unquote free rides, the ones you don't have to pay extra for.
Okay.
And I'm not going to go through. It's basically everything that was Fast Pass. So if you're familiar with that, that's great. If you're not, they're online. Just look it up. But if it had Fast Pass before, it's now Lightning Lane. Okay,
we'll post it on our website and social media and stuff. So if they want to look at the Magical Moments Vacations chart that you sent us,
basically everything but the one most popular ride.
Yeah,
exactly.
So the one most popular ride, and there's in each park you can pay extra to get front of the line access for these rides. So Magic Kingdom, it's Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Epcot, it's Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. Hollywood Studios is Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. And Animal Kingdom is Avatar Flights of Passage. And technically Expedition Everest is listed there, but it's under refurb right now, so it's obviously you're not going to get on that.
I can tell you I'd probably only pay for 2 of these with my family. And the other ones I probably wouldn't, because they probably don't want to do
Would
it.
you not pay for them, or you would just pay for them? But would you just like, I'm not going to ride it at all, or I'll just wait it out?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to pay for them if I know the majority of them aren't going to ride on it all. You know, it's like if they don't want to do Expedition Everest, I'd rather do something else. But I would pay for them to go on Remy, because I know the kids have been talking about that.
Yeah.
And I would pay for them to go on Rise. But other than that, you know, my daughters already said, no, not Mine Train. I was like, oh, Mine Train's not too bad. Like, no. And then same thing with Expedition Everest and then Flights of Passage. Heck no. They're probably not going to do that yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not interested in it.
Now you go to Chuck E. Cheese and do Flights of Passage.
No, I'm with Kevin on this one. Like, we've all ridden that. We were actually talking about that earlier. And we were all like, we just don't get I don't get the hype around Flight of Passage. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Soarin'.
It's not a must-do for me. I mean,
Not
it's
at all.
cool, but it's not a must-do.
But now, keep in mind that my kids have not ever done it at all.
Yes.
So I was willing to pay for it.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
100%.
Yeah. All right, so there's your individual ones. And now, we've talked about this on a previous show, but those are all different prices. I think Rise of the Resistance is the one that's like, I think it was like $12, $15. I honestly don't remember all the prices, but it doesn't matter because those prices can change based on season, based on days. You know, it can be a different price on Monday than it is on Saturday.
Based on mood, if J-Pac woke up on the right side of the bed, is it the left side of the bed?
The stockholders are like, hey, we broke today.
Did he stub his toe on the way to the Keurig machine?
He's hanging left or hanging right or dead center.
Did he slip on $1,000 bill today? Gotcha.
Any of those things can affect the cost of your Lightning Lane selection.
That's crazy, though. That's so crazy.
So, Lee, it's just you pay once for one ride per day. That's it, right?
You can also pay for an extra ride if you want. So if you know you're going to hop, you could buy your Seven Dwarfs Mine Train for the morning and then pay for Remy's after 2 o'clock.
But what if I want to buy like 2 rises? Can I do that? I can't.
Nope.
Okay.
No. As a matter of fact,
I'm sorry.
You can only rise once, Kevin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
only once.
One and done.
You know, my younger days.
I think Kevin could rise twice.
After
I think
20
he could
minutes, I can rise
twice.
again.
Not at the same time.
Back in the day, he could.
Yeah,
I mean,
back
you
in the
know,
day,
more.
the South Philippines could rise again.
Okay, maybe one in the morning, one late in the evening.
Maybe so. I don't know.
I'm trying.
If I think really hard, I can make it happen.
Got
Growing up in the
deported
Philippines,
big.
that's like all those Easter Island statues were faced at Kevin Stokes' ancestral home to see. They're looking like, is he rising?
They were cooking adobo like, come on, we're mixing it up for you. It's got to work.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So now, just a couple basic rules. You can start doing all of this at 7 o'clock in the morning, Florida time.
Florida time,
So,
6 o'clock my time.
Florida time.
Damn.
East Coast time, whatever.
Or
that's
if you've got
called.
a good travel agent, they'll do it for you.
Yes.
Night before, yeah.
So whatever time that is in your city, that's what time you can start doing this. So I'll get to that in a second, but you can actually, book those from at the airport or in the parking garage, which is what I did
The day of?
the day of.
Day of, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be in the park.
Parks. Now, Disneyland, you do have to be in the parks. That's a different show, different topic, but
Better system.
you also
But
have to, and there's no early time for Disneyland either. It's like in the park, and then you can start choosing stuff.
Better system.
Yeah, so it's good to point that out because, we equate it to Disneyland's Max Pass, so it's good to make sure that we make that distinction that's slightly different than that.
Slightly different there. Now, you also are selecting your Plus or your Lightning Lane selections at the same time you're selecting your individual Lightning Lane selections. So a little detail on that later. Those both happen at 7 o'clock. Now, if you are staying off-site, if you're not staying on Disney property, you cannot select your individual Lightning Lane until the park opens. That is one advantage that on-sites have, is they can make the individual Lightning Lane selections at 7 a.m. as opposed to 9 or 8:30 or whatever time the park opens.
That's smart. That's smart. So that forces you to say, I guess I should take a resort as opposed to staying off
It's
property.
definitely an advantage.
It's an
definitely
incentive.
advantage.
So Keith at Thanksgiving has to wait.
That's gotta
Okay.
slip.
And the other side of that incentive is money.
money. Is that too?
Money.
You have the luxury of paying extra for this ride.
I am so
No one else can.
honored to pay more money to Walt Disney World.
Yeah.
I am so happy for this incredible honor.
You have picked
Thank
me.
you. I feel so
Just
good.
me. I've won the award.
I can
for
spend more
most
money at
expensive
this
trip.
park so I can get on this ride.
Your individual lightning lanes, you can choose what time you want to do that at, depending on what's available, of course. But with the regular line, the lightning
The
that gives
plebeian
you
lane.
Yes, that gives you the first available time. Again, just like the old Fast Pass system. If the next time you can get on it is at 9:30, that's what you get. And if you don't want to do that, then you can wait a little while and get a later time.
Well, Lee, I got a legit question. Seriously, legit question. Okay, so like if you have a group of, say, 5 people and they all want to get on, say, rides, that means you got to like be like, hey, sorry, we split up, or is there really a way for everyone to enjoy the experience at the same time using that?
No, you can all do it at the same time.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So I have a follow up to that question. So say we're all on a podcast trip together, and so I say, Eli, you're in charge of booking our individual lightning lane. Make
We
sure
ain't
you
gonna
get
make
what
it.
we're
We
going
ain't
to get
gonna
it.
make it.
And then, well, I'm just using hypothetical. I'm just saying hypothetical.
Yeah.
Kevin, that is way too hypothetical.
I'm sorry,
That's
I'm sorry.
It can happen.
All right, all
I'm
right.
studying.
Kirk, you're getting
Kirk will book our individual lightning lane, and I'm going to do the Genie Plus stuff. Can we do it at the same time, or does it have to be
Absolutely,
one person?
100%, and I'll give you an example of that.
Okay, thank God. Because I was about to say, if one person can only do it, that's a pain in the freaking ass for that one person.
That's what I was thinking. That's a lot if
No?
you have
Yep.
a massive, like a
That's
group.
like the what was the virtual queue, a thing that you had to do or whatever for Rise back in the day?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Where you had to book for everybody, right?
Yeah, well, that wasn't so bad. I thought you meant when I had to actually show up in the park, and then it
Oh,
became
that
a
too.
system
Yeah,
of,
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, once you scan in, will you get something?
But either way, you had to do it everybody,
Yeah,
right?
right.
You couldn't. You couldn't split up duties or something. All right.
But yeah, I woke up early at while we were in Disneyland and did that. And
Okay.
it's an inconvenience to get up that early, but
Not too
what
bad.
else?
Okay.
All right. So the individual lightning lane selections, the ones you pay extra, again, those are done at 7 o'clock. We'll get into that in some examples of how we did that. Now, for your Genie Plus selections, your lightning lane selections, again, they give you whatever the first time is available. So you can do those at 7 o'clock as well. And just like the old system, you let me see the best way to explain this. So what you would normally do is you would get your time for the ride, then you would go to that ride at that time, and then you could pick another one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's still true today, except in the case where you got one that gets pushed out way far. So Slinky Dog is the best example of this. 7 o'clock, you're online, you're grabbing Slinky Dog, you're probably still getting a 6 o'clock p.m. return time.
Okay.
Just because of the popularity.
Sure.
So they're not going to make you wait till 6 o'clock to get another lightning lane selection. So in cases like that, you can get your next selection 2 hours after the park opens. So if the park opens at 9, you can pick something else at 11 and still have that 6 o'clock one for later on in the day.
Question.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so Slinky Dog is that's Disney Genie Plus, though. That's not Lightning Lane.
That is a lightning lane. That's a free one that's included with your $15 a day.
Right.
It's not an individual lightning lane selection.
No, I guess what I'm trying to say is, so like if I'm booking Rise of Resistance and I book that first thing when I wake up,
Yep.
then the second thing I do when I wake up is now I start trying to book our individual Genie Plus things.
the next
That is
tier.
correct.
Okay.
That
and
is
so
100% correct.
okay.
Yeah, you know what? That's to your point, Dan. That's where the syntax of all this gets confusing.
Yes.
Because they all use lightning
They should
lane.
have like 100% totally different names for these things.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
100%.
Because I would say they all use Lightning Lane, but you have your individual Lightning Lane and you have Genie Plus, which is why I suggested a la carte.
Well,
like
they didn't
that.
have to get rid of Fast Pass to begin with.
They could have just called it Fast Pass. I mean, I will tell you this: as you walk through the parks and you're listening to other people talking, what are they saying? When's our next Fast Pass? When's our next
Exactly.
Fast Pass? Can we get this Fast Pass? Everyone still calls it Fast Pass.
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's why they're hiring a
we
new
still
PR guy.
slip and say that. Yes.
It's
Can't
hard. It's
help
hard
it.
not to. I mean, it makes sense. It's been around forever.
Yeah.
Who's gonna say Lightning Lane? Ka-chow. They're gonna switch. I bet you what. The new PR guy, when they ever get LinkedIn finds it, they're gonna switch it to Fast Pass.
Yeah, I hope they do, because like Lightning just gives the impression that once you've paid your fee, so to speak, you can just boom get right on it. And of course, that's not the case.
Yeah, and then you think Lightning Lane, you're thinking car. So if I'm in the Lightning Lane, then that's the loser lane.
If you ain't first, you last.
Exactly.
right.
Yeah, yeah. So
it's a negative connotation.
it's a misnomer
Yeah.
almost.
You know what comes after
Yeah.
Lightning, Eli?
Thunder.
What?
Thunder.
Thunder!
Kachuga. Kachuga.
What?
And you were lightning before the thunder.
All right, now just like the old fast pass system, you basically have an hour window. So if you have a lightning lane for 3 o'clock, you can get there anywhere between 3 and 4 o'clock. And they'll usually let you in about 5 minutes early. We tried to get in a couple times, like 10 minutes early, and they're like, nope, got to wait. And so about 5 minutes, they'll let you get into your time. And I don't know what the official number is, but everyone will tell you they give you about a 15-minute grace period past your last time or whatever. So
All right, so that's par for the course. Yeah.
4:15, you're cool.
All right, so like when your window opens for that ride, can you start booking for the next one? Like you used to
and
do?
in fact, yeah, absolutely. As soon as you ding in, there's usually 2 touch points at the beginning and that like midway through. As soon as you ding into the second touch point, you can start looking for your next one.
Oh, no, that's 3 touch points. You just got to know where to look.
And say it kindly.
Yeah.
You got to
right.
take 2 fingers. Oh, that's something
Yeah.
different. Yeah, yeah.
Just ask Deadpool.
Yeah.
Or is that the on switch?
Do it.
And there's that forbidden touch point that, 90% of the time it's no. But
The lambada.
So let's say the park opens at 9. You've got this Slinky Dog for 6 o'clock. So at 11 o'clock, you can pick something else. Then at 1 o'clock, you can pick something else. And at 3 o'clock, you can pick something else, and so on and so forth. There's a little bit of a wrinkle to that, so let's get into that in a second. But that's basically how it works. As long as you've got those fast passes pushed out later in the day, you're continuing to stagger that 2-hour windows. So 9, and if they open at 8, then it's 10, 12, 1 or 2, et cetera, et cetera.
So Lee, there's no more free the 3 then. You don't
No
have
more free the 3.
Okay.
That's
thank
exactly
God.
right.
Okay.
Thank God.
good.
That's exactly right. Now, also, too, what you'll see, and then I'll give you an example of this later, is what happens is all your popular rides, again, they get pushed out towards the evening because everyone's trying to get those rides. So you start getting like several rides in the same time frame. So you might have something at 4, something at 4:25, and something at 5. It's okay that they overlap. That hour rule doesn't apply to ones that you push on top of each other.
Oh,
So
okay.
if you hear anyone talk about stacking Genie passes or stacking lightning lanes, that's what they're talking about.
Stacking.
And again, I'll give you an example of that as we go through each individual day.
So Lee, for the regular Genie Plus stuff, can I do more than one? Like, can I do like multiple rides on Jungle Cruise and just stack those?
No.
No. So once
And
I
was
do
gonna
Jungle
ask you,
Cruise, that
in the old Fast Pass system, could you get a Fast Pass, let's just say Big Thunder, use it, and then get Big Thunder again? You could, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
you
can't do
just
that
go
now.
back in line, you put your card in, and you get another thing. It's usually later in the day, but I mean, it's not going to be right after you go on.
So once
Yeah, you can't do that now. Well, then
Huh.
I thought so, but I tried it out, and yeah, once you have whatever Big Thunder, and you use it, you can't get Big Thunder.
So, like, if I book with Big Thunder like at 10 in the morning, that's it. That's the only time I
That's
get to
it.
ride.
That's your time.
Unless I go
Thunder.
into like the standby line.
wow. That's
oh yeah,
interesting.
stand by it. Yeah.
I was going to ask about that, though. You have to link all your family together, right? That's still the case for this?
Like the My Disney
absolutely.
experience?
If you've
Okay,
got- Especially if you got separate rooms. Now we were all in the same room, so it was easy.
Okay.
Like, I just clicked it. But since I was linked to, like, my cousin was there that week, I had another client that's a friend of ours that was there that week. So they're all quote unquote friends. If they were in the same park as us, they would show up. So I had to be careful not to select them and burn up their Genie pass.
No, because I was gonna say to what Kevin was saying, like you said, let's say he wants to ride it twice, but he can't because the first time he picked, he can't do it again. Couldn't you, like, I don't know if this is the right term,
Somebody
but-
else do it?
Yeah, like split the link up so that somebody else who's the cousin says, "Oh yeah, Kevin's in my thing," but you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know what you
have
mean, yeah.
different- It
Yeah,
doesn't work
I-
like
she
that.
Can't, like let's say, for example, your cousin can't book it for you because you've already booked it and used it. No, I don't think you can do that. I can tell you
Okay.
that I didn't test that, but I don't think you. I think because it understands been on Big Thunder as a lightning lane.
Like, I might be grayed out, I guess, in your selection, Eli, is what he's
Okay.
saying.
Grayed out,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay,
So
I was curious
interesting.
about that.
I like that to an extent.
That's
and
fair.
I dislike it to an extent because obviously, if you pay the $15, you should be able to book whatever the hell you want.
Right.
But
Yeah.
so that's the part I dislike about it. But what I like about it is that theoretically, then you can't just eat up all the fast passes for Big Thunder Mountain.
Everybody gets one shot at the app.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah,
Everyone
that
gets
makes
one
sense.
shot to go ahead and eat, and that should keep the standby line shorter.
Should.
Now,
Exactly.
we'll find out whether or not on Lee's trip the standby lines were reasonable, but
And that's something you've been talking about, watching this thing, is the standby lines. Whether or not
Yeah.
this thing is effective, depending on what happens to the standby lines. Because we remember with FastPass Plus, we noticed that it was inflated.
definitely inflated.
So
yes.
I'm curious, Lee. I mean, let's jump there real quick if we could. What did you notice about the standby lines? If you want to go there.
Here's what I'm interested to find out. Now, we did this during spring break, and it was busy. And I've been hearing how the crowds have been, and I was preparing for it, and it was still an enjoyable vacation, but you could feel it. It was a busy trip. It was definitely high crowds, and we'll get into some more details on it in a second. But I'm interested to see when I would like to talk to Evan to see how number one, he was never been to Disney on the system, and he went during a relatively slower time. They went the end of February. So I'd like to see how his experience matches up against my experience.
And just to clarify, listeners, Evan is Danny's neighbor.
Yeah.
Who booked with a trip with Lee. So just in case you're wondering who is this Evan that Lee's talking about, that's who it is. That's
Evan
who
Essence.
Evan Essence.
I do believe when Evan went, it was a holiday time. It wasn't like it was a slow time.
Yeah,
was
was it like a President's Weekend or something like that?
I think it was Mardi Gras.
It was Mardi Gras.
It was during Mardi Gras
Because he
week. Yeah, I
showed
remember
up.
that.
Yeah, it was Mardi Gras.
Yes.
All right. Well, again, I'm going back end of April. Danny, you're going in April, so
I'm going
let's
during
compare
Easter.
notes.
Yeah, I'm going we're stepping off the boat the day after Easter Sunday, and then we'll have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the parks.
Nice.
Theoretically, allegedly, perhaps.
Yes, let's knock on wood.
Yes. Crossing your fingers.
Wherever the COVID gods have decided. Yes.
Exactly. All right, so I don't want to necessarily go through every single day, but I want to kind of give you guys an idea of how the days went, and especially up front, and kind of some of the issues we ran into, some of the things that we liked about it, and some of the things that we didn't like about it. So,
All right.
That's a different
Yeah,
thing.
let's go. Let's hear it. I'm
all right, so
curious.
the first day, again, if you remember, we talked about this. My son and my wife had to fly in later because of a basketball tournament. So the first 2 days, it was just me and the two older kids. We flew in on Friday, and we went to Epcot on Friday. So we flew in and went to park the same day. Okay. So again, here's an example. At 6 a.m. my time, Central Time, I was in the airport parking garage, pulled over, and grabbed my first individual Lightning Lane selection.
Okay.
I got Remy for 3 p.m. It's cool.
Damn.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad.
So paid that. I think we
Well,
paid
how
like
many people? 3?
3
There's
people.
3 people. Okay.
3 people.
Okay.
I believe it was like $58 or something like that for all 3 of us. Okay.
Gotcha.
50.
And so
How
got
that
that.
hurts.
I grabbed Test Track, and Test Track at this point at 7:01 is already out to 6 p.m.
Wait a minute.
Damn.
Wait. Whoa. You grab Test Track on the Disney Genie Plus then, right?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Well, it's the same system. You got your individual Lightning Lane, and you got your Lightning Lane, your regular Lightning Lane selections, and so you can do them both at 7 o'clock.
Correct. I just want to make sure we differentiate for the listener.
Yeah.
So that your quote unquote fast pass for Test Track, again, it gives you the first time it's available, and that is going to be at 6 p.m. So as you see, some of the more popular attractions are already getting pushed out to that 6 p.m. time. Again, so what that means for us is that we're not going to have to wait till 6 o'clock to get another Genie Plus Lightning Lane. We're going to be able to book something at 11.
Okay.
The park opens at 9.
And 2 hours after it opens, you can book
And then,
something else. All right.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
So that's what we did. So at this point, we get to the airport, our flight's delayed. So, okay. So the plan was we should have gotten off the airplane about 10:30 or so, and so 11 o'clock wasn't going to be a problem, but at this point, we're going to be in the air at 11 o'clock. So I paid for the internet for the phone, for the Southwest internet, and at 11 o'clock, boom, got my next selection. And I got a Soarin' for 5 o'clock.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
Good.
Nice work, pal.
Yeah. Now, a couple little personal things. Because the flight was delayed, we had some issues with our transportation. We hired a private driver. There was some
private driver. What? Driver for money. Ooh.
There was some miscommunication there. They didn't realize that our flight was late, so they were like calling us and texting us while we were in the air, like, "Hey, are you guys coming?" But once we landed, we got in touch with them, and they came and picked us up. But due to that, we got delayed a little bit. Got our
Question.
bags. Yes.
But how many private people did you have? You have a private photographer,
we had a
private driver, private photographer.
We had a private photographer.
You have a private eye following your wife when she wasn't with you. What was the fourth?
We had a
it had
They
Lee's
watching you.
They had Lee's privates.
yeah,
his
your privates.
Yeah.
we saved Ryan's privates.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, that's
that's
cool.
good.
There
Thank-
was Private Benjamin showed up later.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. So it was a lot of privates. Private Pile was there as well. So
Take it way back.
I
anyway,
had to.
so we finally get to the hotel. We get to the Polynesian. Luckily, by this time our room's ready, so we didn't have to wait for that. We drop our bags off and we go to Epcot.
Okay.
So this is what our evening looks like. We've already got it lined out. 3 o'clock we got Remy. 5 o'clock we got Soren. 5:25 we got dinner Topolino's, and 6 o'clock we got Test Track.
Bam, bam,
That's
bam.
a full day right there. That's a full day right
I'm
there.
full.
That's like a triple mountain whammy.
Yeah, no. Bam, bam, bam.
Wasn't it?
That's thick.
No webs. No webs. Stop.
We really didn't get into the park until after 3, so we kind of barely made our Remy reservation. We were in time. I think we probably got in line for Remy like 3:45. Okay. After that, we went to Soren.
Hey.
But
Travel tip from Rachel Roberge. We missed our Remy reservation by like hours.
Oh,
And they still let us in.
they still let us in. We had a whole story. We were like, my friend over here, he had appendicitis, but yeah, we didn't have to worry about it.
Rachel Roberge, just a dream away travel.
yeah.
Unless they changed something that, I don't know, are they not letting that happen anymore? Or?
Yeah, so let me get into that. So we had a test track at 6 o'clock, which we knew we weren't going to make because we had dinner at 5:25 at Topolino's. But we figured we could get there by 7 if we got to Topolino's on time, which we didn't. And that'll be a recurring theme throughout this entire vacation is we were not on time for one single dinner reservation all week.
Wait. Which one did you make first? The dinner reservation or the
We made the dinner reservation 60 days before.
before? Okay, yeah.
And so I can talk about that now. If you have a dinner reservation that conflicts with your Genie Pass or your individual Lightning Lane, what the cast members will tell you is go to the ride. It's much easier for the reservation, for the restaurant to accommodate you than it is for the system to accommodate you. Yeah.
What?
Really?
I thought it would be the other way around.
I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, that sounds.
You can
that's
talk
odd.
to the people at the restaurant.
Yeah, it's like, come on, dude, just let 2 or 3 more people go. That's not going to affect things. If you're holding up a table for 45 minutes, that's got to throw everything out of whack.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's what we were told, and that will remain true the whole week. We never were denied our dining reservations, even though we were late to every single one of them.
Were you told that by the same person that said you're on your own?
No, actually in the park people. So.
Man, I'd be curious to know, if, like, for some of the popular restaurants, if that holds true.
Yeah.
Like, I experienced
100%.
that with not Cape May Cafe, Kona Cafe. You know, it's like I had a reservation scheduled for a certain time, and I didn't show up till an hour later because my kid that was younger was pitching a fit, and we couldn't leave the room. But we showed up an hour late, and they said, yeah, we could still accommodate you. So I could see that, but then again, Kona Cafe is not that
Popular.
It's not popular. It's not so
Ohana.
booked. Yeah, it's not Ohana. It's not like California Grill. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not one of the more popular places where people eat. So I'm curious to know if that holds true for anything.
Well, I mean, you already get in like an hour window to show up for your ride, and then they allow you a 5 to 10 minute grace period in between that. You could have a whole meal in an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, to hold up a table for an hour and 10 minutes, but we're getting off track.
Yeah, we're getting off track.
Yeah.
That's an interesting thing to circle
It
back
is.
to at some
It is.
point.
I'd
in the
like an
future,
explanation of that because
Yeah.
that's a whole family that can dine at a table for an hour.
Right, as opposed to a bunch of
Right,
people
yeah.
just walking a line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think they'll seat them, and then if you're late, they'll seat you as soon as they can. So, but that was true. So we were late to our Topolino's. We took the Skyliner, went over there, had a nice meal, very relaxing. Again, just me and the 2 older kids, and like anything else, I don't know what it is about Disney, but we turn into more adventurous eaters when we are in Disney for some reason. We had some grilled octopus. We had, my kid had some kind of scallops, and I would never have thought that kid would order scallops. But
Good
anyway,
boy.
great meal.
Scallops are awesome.
Scallops
Yeah,
rock.
very good.
Yeah, and but we didn't get back into the park till about 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay.
And so again, our test track was for 6 o'clock. So we said, well, let's just go over there, beg for mercy, see what happens, and then let us on. So it was a non-issue. Now, I don't know if it's because the wait times weren't that long at that point, 8 o'clock at night for test track, but they let us in through the lightning lane, and we got on and we rode, and it was not a problem.
Good.
So,
Good.
So it's overall, good first day. Everything went pretty smooth other than the flight being delayed, but we handled it. We got everything in line, and we had a good time.
Good.
Nice.
Good. Excellent. All right.
All right, so next morning, Hollywood Studios. So this, if you don't know this, you need to know this. Rise of the Resistance, Slinky Dog Dash. Those are the two you're going to want to get. And I've been told, we didn't test it out, but I've been told you should probably get Slinky before you get Rise of the Resistance.
Why?
What?
Because it is that popular, and it will sell out. Now, I'm going to tell you, I'll circle back around to this. I had 2 different experiences with Hollywood Studios this week, and they were night and day. Between our day 2 and our day 5, it was night and day, our experiences with Genie Plus and the Lightning System and all that stuff.
Interesting.
So our plan was, as you alluded to earlier, I was in charge of the Rise of the Resistance. My daughter was in charge of getting Slinky Dog. We also had a reservation for Savi's Workshop today as well. So we did that.
How many of y'all made a lightsaber?
Just my oldest.
Okay.
No one else was really interested in, and Joshua wasn't here at this point either. So, plus that was coming out of their own. That was coming out of their own.
No, wait. What container did she get when she left?
Yeah,
when it said
did she
lightsaber?
get
Oh, the good one. We got the good one.
Oh.
No plastic bags.
Remember that they were flipping
I
out
remember
about
that,
that? We
yeah.
talked about that.
Apparently
Yeah,
they're
it's good.
restocked now, so we're good there.
They heard us. They heard our cry, and they were like, "We got to fix that."
Got off all that hand-gen shit.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were like, "We ain't taking plastic."
There you go.
Yeah,
Sell that on eBay.
That worked out great. My daughter got the Slinky Dog. I got Rise of the Resistance. We got a Slinky Dog for $315, which was better than Test Track. And I didn't even realize at this point how lucky I was to get that, but we 15.
All right.
I think Rise we had for like 5:30, and so we got dressed, went to the parks. We're in the parks by 8 o'clock. Parks open at 8:30, so we were able to get in at 8 o'clock because we were staying on site. Went straight to Rise of the Resistance. Got on there. Wait time said 55 minutes. It was about, I think it was like 50 minutes. I think we probably like 35 minutes total.
Okay.
We were in line, so we rode Rise, and we just went about our day. So since the park opened at 10:30, we set an alarm for since the park opened at 8:30, set an alarm for 10:30, set an alarm for 12:30, so on and so forth. Okay. So at 10:30, we got that. We got Rock and Roller Coaster for like 5:15. At 12:30, we got Toy Story, and we just continued to do that. So again, this is a good example of what we call stacking. So at this point, we had a 2:45 Savi's Workshop, 3:15 Slinky Dog, 4:30 we had a reservation at Oga's, 5:15 Rock and Roller Coaster, 5:20 Toy Story Midway Mania, 5:30 Rise of the Resistance, and we had a dinner at Beaches and Cream for $620.
Now, I'm sure we all understand what you mean by stacking, but why don't you just explain what stacking means for...
So basically, what happens is that when you're getting the more popular rides, you're not getting it at 10:30 in the morning arrival time. You're getting it for 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Correct.
And so by the time your next alarm comes at 10:30 and you can get your next thing, you're obviously trying to get something that's popular like Rock and Roller Coaster.
Sure.
Well, the next available time was 5:15. And so we set our alarm then for 12:30, and the next available time for Toy Story was 5:25. So it's not something that we're necessarily doing purposefully, but all those rides just tend to start stacking up towards the end of the day.
Correct.
so you lucked up, right? He lucked
Well,
up.
I will
as far
tell
as-
you that we got very lucky on this day, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say
And-
as far as the Wi-Fi part.
No,
in
yeah,
the
yeah.
park,
I was going to say, like, the whole stacking, that's kind of pretty standard. That was the same thing
Right.
when you would go to Max Pass. It would kind of be pretty standard that you'd be booking for stuff that you couldn't do immediately. It would be later in the day.
Okay.
And then you just kind of build everything around that.
Okay.
And then you just would go ride some stuff and wait in lines, you know, earlier in the day.
Sure.
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, what'd you do in the mornings when you didn't get any of the stuff?
Shows. Muppet Vision 3D.
All that kind of stuff?
Anything that's a scheduled show.
Like a crowd gobbler kind of
yes.
setup. Yeah.
I thought it was made love. My bad.
it could be.
Is that right, Lee?
It
That's
could
what
be.
I thought.
It could be.
There you go.
Did you?
Get some lightning laid on that. They got to pay you.
We do Star Tours. We did Muppets. We went ahead and got in line for Mickey and Minnie. You know, stuff like that.
Oh, that's
And
pretty
Mickey and Minnie
good.
was a little bit of a wait, but we were like, okay, you know, we'll suffer through it. No big deal. But for what it's worth, the other strategy is this. If you don't want to, like, stack, if you want to start just getting on stuff immediately, then you don't get Slinky Dog. first thing in the morning. You just go to the park, or you pick something that's like a 9:30 wait time, and then you ding into that, and then you go find something that's at 10. You go on that. And you find something that's 11:30, and you go on that, and so on and so forth. So you don't have to do this stacking system, but if you're getting the more popular rides, it just ends up being this way. There's nothing you can do about it because that's the next earliest time you're going to be able to get, and it just gives you what is next, and that usually ends up being after 4 or 5, 6 o'clock.
So you better hope your family's on the same accord, basically, to make sure that stacking is successful.
It became a challenge, though, because I just laid it out for you, right? So we're having to go to Savi's. Then we got to go to Toy Story. Then we got to go back to Oga's. Then we got to go to Rock and Roll. Then we got to go kind of back towards there and go to Toy Story. Then we go back in. So we were in and out of Galaxy's Edge like 3 or 4 times. So that gets to be a pain, and that's one thing I will say that I don't like about that I prefer to the FastPass Plus is that logically I knew, like, okay, 11 o'clock I'm going to be in this area of the park. And by 1 o'clock I'm going to be in this area of the park, and by 3 o'clock I'm going to be in this area of the park, and I would just lay out my fast passes accordingly.
But now you're bouncing around is what you're saying, right?
You're doing a lot more walking, a lot more hopping around the park, because you're just getting whatever you can get, and sometimes that's forcing you to go to, different lands of the park.
Huh.
Again, it still worked out good. We had a good plan for the evening. Again, we were late to our Beaches and Cream reservation, but again, they sat us. No big deal. It wasn't a problem.
So, Lee, at Beaches and Cream, was there anybody in a banana hammock?
Well, we did try to recreate the photo, but my kid wasn't brave enough to show off the banana hammock. So, and it's been remodeled since then too. So it's a whole different layout now. Whereas before they had like this walk-up counter that was on the side, and you were kind of separated out. It's all like one big area now. So we did our best to recreate it. But I did show it to the waitress, and they like 3 or 4 waitresses. They just were cracking up. So it's a great picture, man. It is a
great picture. I love that picture.
So just a kind of a quick side note, it was kind of cool this week. Like when the sun went down, it was in 45, 50 degrees. We decided to go ahead and just walk from the Hollywood Studios over to Beaches and Cream. It was cold, and I'd always heard that you could do it. I'd heard that it was a long walk, but I'd never done it myself. And it's a hike. It's a little bit of a hike over to. It is.
It's a long hike. Yeah.
And I will tell you, like, I guess because we were so hungry or whatever, I got to the resort and I said, okay, it's been a while. It's been 10 years since we've been to Beaches and Cream. I know that it's by the pool because, again, the guy in the banana hammock was coming out of the pool to come order his burgers. So I know it's by the pool. I see the pool.
I like how that's how you remember it.
Yeah. So I saw the pool. I smelled food. I'm like, all right, this is it. Let's go. And I started looking around. I said, man, this doesn't look familiar at all. Like, something's not right. Well, we were in the... We were in the boardwalk. We didn't even go into the right hotel.
That's not what I thought you said.
Can I tell you, I was going to be like, I like how you remember the banana hammock guy. Not that it was across from the boardwalk. That the banana... So you were so focused on the banana hammock guy that you didn't even correlate the idea that these were 2 separate resorts that would look completely different across from one another.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, that's also how hungry we were. So we're like, man,
you're hungry for banana hammock.
Yes.
Yeah.
I bet you ordered a banana split when he got there. Frozen banana, right?
So, but
banana in the tailpipe.
Frozen.
Yeah.
Banana on the rocks.
Yeah.
With chocolate and nuts.
Lee, next time, let it go.
Caress.
Now, you asked about some of the things that we did to fill our time. Again, Smugglers Run, Muppets. We went to Baseline Tap House. We just kind of walked around Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Took in all that in. But I'll tell you what we did a lot this week, a lot of PhotoPass opportunities. So we just needed time to kill. We just go find a PhotoPass person. Be like, hey, can you take our picture? We just sought out PhotoPass. And I probably have, I'm probably exaggerating, but maybe not, like a good 75, 100 pictures from PhotoPasses this week.
You got your money's worth then.
We hit them up, man. Yeah, we got our money's worth on PhotoPass.
So did Genie Plus help you with that? Any sort of way?
No, it helped me to have downtime to kill time between rides. But other than that, no.
Yeah.
And you know what? We didn't even end up doing our Toy Story Fast Pass or Genie Plus Lightning Lane Pass, whatever. We didn't even use it that day. We just were like, we're already on Rock and Roller Coaster. Okay, so again, Rock and Roller Coaster 5:15, Toy Story 5:25, Rise 5:30. You got an hour window, but it still was like, let's just go, let's go eat.
Pretty tight,
so we just skipped Toy Story for that.
That's fair.
Toy Story Tower of Terror train wreck all week because they only had one elevator running.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if that was on purpose. It couldn't have been on purpose, in the middle of spring break. But Tower of Terror was 180 minutes all week.
Wow.
That was pure unintentional, I'm sure.
Yeah. Normally that's just like a walk on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an easy
normally,
one.
yeah, you can. I mean,
That's a
25
fast
minutes
loader.
maybe.
Depending on the day. I
Yeah,
should say.
that's a quick loader usually.
Some spring breaker did something crazy, probably.
Somebody, I don't know. But so we didn't even do Tower of Terror that day. But I felt like we had a great day at Hollywood Studios. We got a lot of stuff done.
Got your
And,
pretzel.
again, we spent a lot of time in
He got his
Galaxy's
pretzel. Yeah. Well, good.
All right, so the next day, Joshua and Mom are flying in. We got Epcot scheduled. Got up, purchased Remy, 2:00. Great. They were supposed to arrive at 8:00, so that was cool. But when I went to get our Lightning Lane, again, we were going to do Test Track again, but it was at 9:20 a.m. I was like, that's too close. Like, they're supposed to fly in at 8. I'm sure we could get there by 10:20 if we're pushing it. But I said, let me just wait a little while. Let some other people grab some passes, and then I'll get something. I'll get a later time for Test Track. So I waited a few minutes, but then something happened. I don't even remember what happened. I got distracted. Went in again.
Another guy with a banana hammock?
Yeah, the guy with a banana hammock walking by the
How you doing?
It doesn't take much.
How you doing?
But generally,
Yeah, if Mohicans go out there and want to distract Lee,
Yeah.
just show up in a banana hammock.
He's like-
Guaranteed.
he's like the Dos Equis guy. I don't normally get distracted, but when I do,
Banana
it's the only
hammock.
guy in a banana.
Yeah.
Banana hammock.
Yes.
So we missed out on that opportunity to get that 9:20 a.m. Test Track, and so by the time we began, the closest time we had was 6:00.
Hey, Lee.
And then I'll tell you a little story on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, the next trip that we take, I'm gonna buy a banana hammock just so you can recreate that picture.
Hey man, if you'll wear it, I'll
Look at
You
it.
know you talking
Say it.
to?
Say it. You'll look at it.
You look at it. You know you talking to, right? You see this guy, right? This guy's not afraid to do that.
He will sleep in that banana.
Yeah,
hammock
he'd be like,
every
hey,
night.
Right
you
next
forgot-
to you.
Tell him, Kev. You'd be like, you forgot
Yeah.
how I look?
'Cause I'm your
Check it
BFF.
again.
That's
There
right.
it is. Tell him again.
And it wouldn't really be a banana hammock per
No.
se. It would. Yeah.
You
You're
know,
like an acorn.
Yes. Exactly.
Don't do you sound like that?
What?
Come on now. Tell him,
Hey,
tell him it's
acorn-
still something you can lay up in.
Asian acorns. Yeah, let's
be
about
okay,
start with an
man.
A.
It's like a Kinder Joy.
Yeah. As long as someone enjoys it, that's the important thing, right?
That's all I'm enjoying.
Sometimes
That's all I'm
you
enjoying.
feel like a nut.
There you
You
go.
know.
Sometimes you don't.
Just don't do a Nestle's Crunch, and you'll be okay.
All right, go ahead.
All right,
Lee.
go.
All right, so now we got we set our alarm. We picked up Storm for 2:15. Wife gets in, drops off the bags. We head to Epcot. I actually got to meet up with the Raz.
Hey!
All right, good job. Good
Got
job.
to ride Remy together. We had some little snacks around World Showcase and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
When did Turtle Talk? It's the first time I did Turtle Talk. That was a fun show. It's kind of cool.
Bodacious, dude. Let me talk to the guy with the big beard.
Well, man.
Yeah, man.
How old are you, man? 108?
Let me see what the black and gray shell, bro.
Oh, bro. Glad you're here.
Dude, are you looking at my banana hammock?
That look good.
Righteous,
It's
righteous.
tough to get over the shell, but it happened.
Eyes off the shell, dude.
Yeah. You're with your wife, man.
Ain't no banana in these hammocks.
That's so weird.
Yeah, man. You do that?
You have Crush's permission to dream about me tonight.
Yeah.
Dude,
So
gee,
little
that's
side
so
note,
weird.
don't do this. If this is a tip, that you
Don't
do
wear a
not wanna
banana
do.
hammock to Turtle Talk with Crush. Is that what you're saying about to say?
It's a snapping turtle. You'd be in trouble.
Hey, good advice.
All right, so I told you we got the test track for 6:00. I'm scrolling through looking for stuff. I'm like, oh wow, wait a minute. There's an earlier time for test track. Let me get that. I don't know if it was a glitch or what happened, but so I canceled my test track, went back in. That's another thing. So if you do a dining reservation and it's on top of another dining reservation, it'll just tell you, do you want to cancel this one and keep this one, or what do you want to do?
Absolutely.
With Genie Plus, you got to cancel and then pick.
Oh, that's
Right?
weird. Okay.
Yeah, so
that's messed up,
Well, the ideal situation would be like, okay, I'm going to pick something else and be like, hey, what do you want to do? You want this, or you want to keep what you got already? No, It just tells you can't book. I got something booked, so I had to cancel my 6:00 test track, and then I went back, and it was at 8.
Damn.
I'm like, what the hell? I know that it said like 4:00 earlier. So something glitched out. Either it should have never shown me the 4:00. Obviously, I don't think it filled up, for 4 hours worth of passes in that time frame. But So it gave me 8:45 p.m. So I screwed myself on that one.
Oh,
That sucks, though, that you got to cancel before you can reschedule.
check it out. Yeah.
I don't like that.
I wouldn't even do it, man. I just would keep what I got. So just don't do that.
Don't. Okay, good tip.
A bird in the hand is worth,
Yes.
or a banana in the hand
Or two that are
Banana
stacked.
hand
is worth
It's
two
worth
bananas in the
two
hammock.
fairies.
If you have a bush.
All right, so we had dinner reservations at 7:30 for Steakhouse, but we didn't do our test track for that day. So it's like, we missed out. Now, that was actually the only reservation we were on time for because all we had for that day is Remy at 2 o'clock, Soren at 2:15, and test track at 8:45. We didn't do test track, so we were kind of done with Epcot. The kid had woken up at like 3:30 to catch a flight, so he was tired. So we just went back to the hotel, took a little nap, and then went to dinner at Steakhouse. All right, so next we're coming up on Animal Kingdom. Now, again, we don't have to go like line by line by line, everything we got. Because
Thank you.
You guys understand how it works now.
Yes.
But I just want to give you some of the examples of some of the things, the little intricacies and little problems we ran into. And
Like they call it in Disney World, they call it a lightning lane with cheese.
yes,
That's melted.
Fromage.
Little differences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, a
Metrics.
little different. All right. So, again, we get online, we do our little thing. We could only get flights of passes for 7:50 p.m. That was the earliest that we could get it for.
Damn.
And we had dinner reservations that day, so I was pushing it. I went ahead and purchased it. What I was thinking was we'd try to sweet talk our way and get in early before our dinner reservation, but long story short, we never did that. And so ended up getting on Safari. We did Dinosaur. We did Navi River Journey, all this other stuff. But this is the day where I found out you couldn't book something twice because we had our 2 p.m. for Safari, right? Mm-hmm. We went on it. We went on Dinosaur. We went on Navi River Journey. We're like, hey, we got some time to kill. Let's try to go on the Safari again. Couldn't do it. Now, you could get in line for it, of course, but it wouldn't let me book another Genie line pass for Safari because we'd already done it at 2 p.m.
Oh.
So this is when I found out you could only book things one time. And then the other issue we ran into, this is the night where we had dinner reservations. My wife was looking forward to eating at Frontera. And so we weren't going to be able to do this flights of passage thing. So I go to guest services and I'm like, hey, man, here's what happened. Kind of ran late today, blah, 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 blah. And can you just cancel these? Can we get our money back? And he's like, well, we're not supposed to give your money back on individual lightning lane selections.
Oh, wow.
Them, you know what time you're getting it for. You know exactly what you're doing. So when you purchase it, you agree to pay for it.
Wow.
But he did say that he would do it and he would take care of me, but he let me know this was a one-time thing.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how they would know it was a one-time thing. I'm sure I could have done it again and no one would have known, but they made it very clear that this was not something, quote-unquote, they were supposed to do.
Okay.
Regardless if you got an ADR, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and again, this goes back to, it's easier for them to fix a dining reservation or accommodate a dining reservation than it is to accommodate a lightning lane thing. So
It feels like a very siloed system, huh?
Yeah.
Between the restaurant reservations versus the attraction reservations.
That's a good
Probably
point,
even
yeah.
the park reservations, maybe even too.
It sounds like they needed at least an admin that someone can reach out, a cast member could reach out to say, here's the situation. So that way it doesn't.
Well, there is a sense that the left hand is not talking to the right hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very siloed. You think somebody reach out, it's like, hey, I noticed you just had to do this lightning lane thing at the time. I noticed you have a dining reservation. Let's see if we can figure this out for you or something.
Right. It's like resetting the password.
Right,
Sometimes
yeah.
it just happens.
And this is Disney. It's not like every aspect of your trip isn't part of your vacation, including your dining.
yeah, it's all part of the experience, so you need to be able to experience it all. All right, so Animal Kingdom was pretty straightforward, pretty easy, other than that lightning lane that we, the individual lightning lane that we couldn't use, but everything else went pretty smooth.
Of all the lightning lanes to not use, that's probably the best one not to use.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
But I mean, you are going to have a long wait. It's still a very popular attraction, so if you don't want to wait, then I would get it. But if you could either, if you're comfortable making that decision once you get in the parks and you see the wait times, or maybe you can get there early or stay late and get there, towards park closing, you'd probably be okay without paying for that.
If you really got to ride it.
If you really, really got to ride it,
Yeah.
pay for it.
Hey, Eli, in case you're wondering, Feathered Friends in Flight is on the Genie Plus
Sure.
selection.
Best
if you want to do that.
use of Genie selection ever.
That is
Oh, that's free, right?
Friends.
no.
Flight.
It's not the free one. You got to pay for not the individual, but you got to pay for the Genie
For that,
Plus.
if you book it, you get to hold the bald eagle on your. You
it
get
craps
to
on
put
your
him.
hand.
Yes.
You know what,
It's like,
though?
here's a gift from
It's
on
a-
your ball.
To be
Yeah,
fair, if
crap,
someone takes a picture of that, that's kind of worth $15.
Yeah.
You don't see that too often. But yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just got to be worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you work it? Let me work it. Would you think that, flip it, and reverse it?
And if you can get the eagle to twerk it, then it's worth it.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. 100%.
Twerk for America.
Let's move on to Hollywood Studios. And
Yeah.
this is basically when everything went to shit.
Really?
Wow.
At
That's-
Hollywood Studios. You heard it here first, Kirk.
Wow.
This is what a
I don't know
vacation.
if it's like more people were coming in at this point. If we got there, but if we beat the spring break crowds in a little bit on that Friday or Saturday or whatever, but this was a complete disaster as far as Genie Plus is concerned. And this is where people are going to have a problem paying. I should have asked for my money back, to be honest with you. I should have just said, hey, can I get my $15 times 5 people back today? Because this was worthless.
This is a smaller park, though.
Worthless.
Well, that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. Magic Kingdom's not a problem. You got millions of rides to ride. You've got a limited amount of rides, and they're all very popular. Mickey and Minnie Railway, Slinky
Dog,
Smuggler's
Rise
Run,
of
Rocket Roller
Resistance.
Coaster,
Yeah.
Tower of Terror,
Alien swirling
Rise of
saucers.
Resistance. That's like 7,
One man's dream.
There it is.
Animation
that's like 7
experience.
rides that everyone wants to get on. So, anyway, so we log in, we do our thing.
John Spectacular is a bitch. I will say that. Go ahead.
All right, so we log in, we do our thing. Same plan. I'm going to get the Rise of the Resistance. My daughter's going to get Genie. Sorry, she's going to get Slinky Dog. Nothing available.
Go ahead.
No issues with the app. Everything went smooth, but they were literally sold out within seconds.
Of
7 o'clock, but before 7:01 hit, they were gone.
Oh, so you booked it for a certain time. You didn't leave it as
No.
blank.
I'm saying
No.
7 o'clock in the morning, you get up to get your Rise of the Resistance.
Oh.
By 7:01 a.m., they were all sold out.
Ooh.
Damn.
All
Oh.
Slinky Dog was gone.
oh, but not Rise.
Rise was
Rise of
gone.
the Resistance was gone. Slinky Dog was gone.
Damn! In 1
Rise of the
minute.
Resistance you got to pay for. Slinky Dog, all the times were booked up.
Wait, so you were at a resort or were you on property?
Doesn't matter, but we were in our hotel room. But it doesn't matter. You can book it from anywhere.
I'm just saying, I thought
They were at a resort because they couldn't do it at 7 in the morning on if
Yeah,
they were
his
staying
daughter
off
was
property, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that is
Right,
true.
right. I just was like, I know you had to be on property to book it. Never mind.
He
Okay.
was in a
You
resort
don't
like
have to be on property. You have to stay on property
Yes,
to have a reservation on
Correct.
property. But you don't have to physically be on property.
correct.
Which I'm sorry. So, but that's pretty
All right.
solid. That is booked up.
That's
So
all
wait.
it
So
is.
you could have a
Yeah.
room booked and then like be at like the Holy Land Experience and book your
Yeah, remember I booked my first one at the airport.
at the airport. Oh, you're right. You're right.
So
Okay.
does that mean that everybody that stayed off property that got on there, like the
Oh, they were
second
definitely out
they
of
were
luck.
out, they were out of luck. Okay.
They were super out of luck.
Damn.
They couldn't even do anything until 9 o'clock. All right, so
All right, yeah.
we went our terrace since we didn't do it the day before. That was for 1:40 p.m. So again, we set our alarm. We got to the park around 9 o'clock, and by 9 o'clock, every single ride was at least 60-minute waits. Mickey and Minnie was 90, Alien Swirling Saucers 65, Smuggler's Run 85, Rocket Roller Coaster 105.
Aliens did
Slinky
what?
Dog, Alien Swirling Saucers 65-minute
The
wait.
ass
Wow.
was 65 minutes.
Yeah.
Can I ask you this? Okay, so Lee,
Wow.
isn't it a thing though? Like even if it's sold out, like at 7 in the morning, don't they re-release more later on in the day?
It could be, but I will tell you that we never saw it happen. Now, I have heard that. I've heard that you can continue to check, and they may, but we never saw them.
I thought there was definite times.
That was like the old system, wasn't it? Like
Yeah.
when they first did Remy.
But that was
The
there was
virtual queue
definitely- There
system?
was that for the
Any for the virtual queue stuff.
Yeah, the virtual queue, but that was a set time. But what you're saying is like they'll just release some later on.
Yes.
And I think that did happen in Magic Kingdom because we saw things available that weren't available at first, or new times were available. But for Hollywood Studios, I don't know, man. Like again, I'm not saying it's not true, but we just didn't see it happen.
I'm saying Evan told me that was the case.
Ever your neighbor.
Evan, my neighbor who he went during the low time, he said that was the
Yeah.
case, that you pretty much had to set the alarm on your phone. Now, it sounded to me like he was getting that confused with the rebooking of the other thing? Because I hadn't heard this before.
I hadn't
but
heard
when he
either,
said
yeah.
that, I kind of figured, well, maybe Lee hipped him to something that I hadn't been paying attention to because,
That'd be nice, huh?
yeah.
I've heard that before, but it just wasn't my experience. At least not for the Hollywood Studio Day.
Okay.
So again, I would try, but it didn't happen for us.
Okay.
All right, so we hopped in line for Mickey and Minnie. We had our Tower Terror at 1:40, and then the rest of the day, I was able to grab Star Tours for 6 o'clock. But by the time we sat down for our sci-fi lunch and tried to get our next Genie thing, there was nothing. The only thing that was available was Star Tours. No Genie passes for any of the major rides at all.
Damn.
They were all gone by like 11:30, 12 o'clock.
That says something about Star Tours, doesn't it?
Whatever's left, we'll take it.
Yeah, and so that's what we got. We got for that day. We literally only got Tower Terror and Star Tours. That's all we could get.
I was wondering.
That sucks.
Does this park close earlier than the other
No,
ones or something
not
like
really.
that? Oh
No, I
wow,
don't think
that's
so,
really
yeah.
Just, again, it's just so many big rides. Everyone wants to get on. Everyone
That's
wants to do Star
insane.
Wars. It's got the most thrill rides of any park. So I mean,
And
that's part of it too.
and
it's
they
got
good.
the newest, better ride.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah,
They do. They do. Yeah.
It's not a half day park anymore. I mean, especially if you've never been, it's definitely not a half day.
That's
Well,
worth
it could be. It could be.
I mean,
It depends on
but
how
if
well you
wanna
stack
really
it.
If you really want to do all 7 of the big rides, and you got to wait in line for most of them, you're going to be there all day.
Wait, 7 of the big rides. What are the big rides? It would be
Mickey and Minnie,
Minnie-
Alien Swirling Saucers, Smuggler's Run.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
Oh,
Stop,
swirling saucers
stop,
is not a big
stop.
ride.
Thank
It's
you.
got a 65-minute wait.
That doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
It just means
All right,
there's
okay,
like a
we'll
lot
skip
of
it then.
people.
That is
Mickey and
not a major ride. Okay.
Smuggler's Run, Rock
Yeah.
and Roller Coaster, Slinky Dog, Rise of the Resistance, maybe Toy Story. I know it's not like super, but it's popular.
Okay.
So 6.
Smugglers Run.
I'll give you 5.
Smuggler's
but-
Run, yeah.
Even Smuggler's Run, I'm with Eli on this one. Man, it has a longer wait, but is it must do?
No,
But if
and
you've
I
never
like
been
it.
before, if you've never been, this is your
I
first time
think
going to
I
Hollywood
think some
Studios.
people would consider Smuggler's Run must do.
Okay.
Okay,
Fair
enough.
They
Well,
put that in that
Well, they
list.
show up at night because you literally could just walk on it
But
at night.
At that point, everything's a must do. Like if you've never done it before,
Yeah.
everything's a must do.
That's a great point.
right. I mean,
That's good.
That's what you paid for, to do something you never did before.
Indiana Jones
Yeah.
Fun Spectacular is a must do. If you've never done it before,
That's a great point.
That's not a
Yeah.
must do.
if you've never done it
Because
before,
you've
that.
done it.
That's
what
not
it-
a must do.
That's because you did it.
All right,
see a
so
stunt
one,
show.
I do want to bring this up because I think people need to be aware of this. So I told you earlier we booked Tower Terror. I clicked it. I clicked all 5 people, and we got our passes or whatever. Well, the wife and the daughter did not want to do Tower Terror. They don't
Okay.
like it. They don't like the drop, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, cool. Here's a plan. We'll get all 5 of us, for the pass because we paid for it. We paid our $15 a day or whatever. But we'll go on, and then 2 people can go on afterwards. I'll let Jackie and Joshua go on it again, or me and Joshua go on it again, or whatever. And you can just take bandits to ding in; it's no big deal. So we did that, but somehow it caught up in the system to where we couldn't make any more passes for the rest of the day. Because it still showed that those 2 hadn't ridden. So we could make passes for the other 3, but those 2 we couldn't make passes for my daughter or my wife because somehow it glitched in the system and got hung up. So I had to go to guest services, and they had to work. And it worked out great because she was like, well, I can get you on something else if you want me to do it. I was like, well, can you get me on Slinky Dog? She's like, how's 6:15 sound? Perfect. Let's do it.
Nice.
So it worked out good. There was a little pixie dust right there.
Oh, okay.
And
But
then,
had you not booked all 5 and left them away, you would have been okay.
I don't think. Yeah, I think it would have been okay. I think that's if you want to make sure you don't get screw something up. Just book the 3, and then after they go on, then the next ride book 5 or whatever.
Okay, I got you.
So,
All right.
but yeah, that definitely caused a problem doing it that way, and I don't know why, and she didn't know why. So last 2 days were Magic Kingdom. Again, I don't need to go line by line by line. The only thing that we didn't pay for was the 7 Dwarves. The first available time at 7 o'clock in the morning was at 10:45 at night.
Damn.
So I'm like, well, number one, by 10:45 there ain't going to be a line, so I'm not paying $10 a person
Wait,
to ride it.
question. How many people are you booking for at a time?
5.
5.
Mhm.
You, your wife, and 3. Okay.
But you can book for everyone in your party. You can book 12. It doesn't matter.
No. I understand that. I guess what I'm trying to say is maybe if you were booking for 2 or 3,
For
it
two?
maybe.
It's kind of like a restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if it works that way. I mean, I'm assuming there's a limited amount of space on each time frame, so maybe so.
I'm saying that's an old trick with FastPass Plus that I used to use all the time, which is, honey, give me your phone. I just booked. I couldn't find one for 7 of us, but I found one for 3 of us here. I think I can get 4 at yours and do it like that.
That's an interesting thing. You can manipulate it and add people later to it, but I think it gives you whatever the next available time is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't give you that same time. But we should try that out when we go in April and see how that works out.
Okay.
Good luck.
All right, cool. So again, Magic Kingdom, it's pretty easy, man. We got Jungle Cruise, we got Peter Pan, we got Space, we got Splash. We got everything on it. It was a pretty easy day. Had dinner at Skipper Canteen. Favorite meal of the week, everyone said. My kids liked it better than Topolino's.
They like what better than Topolino's? Oh, they like Skipper Canteen better than Topolino's?
I don't think it's better, but they said they liked that. They said that was their favorite meal of the week.
All right, so your kids, I'm just repeating just because you broke up a little bit, but your kids said that Skipper's Canteen was better than Topolino's, what you're saying.
All right, so last day, Magic Kingdom, we're flying home that evening. Again, things got a little glitchy today on this trip because things were simply not showing up in Genie Plus at all. Not that they were sold out. They just literally did not even get listed. Because if something's sold out, you can still see it in the app. It'll just say all times are taken or whatever. But Space Mountain wasn't on there. Big Thunder wasn't on there. Seven
Little
Dwarfs
Thunder?
was not available to book. You name it. There was
Tropic
like 3 or
Thunder?
4 things that were just...
It's a dude, call another dude, lightning ride to another dude.
Days of Thunder?
Blue Thunder?
Thundercats,
That wasn't on there?
meet the Thundermans.
Right.
So that just,
The Thunderman. Thunder Thighs?
oh, I kind of like that.
Thunder.
That sounded like my
Oh,
ex-girlfriend.
that piqued Lee, I think.
Yeah.
You got to rise.
The thunder.
But the good
right,
thing was at this point we were kind of Disneyed out. This was like 7 days in for us, 5 days in for the other guys. So we were kind of just rolling with it. We just rode a few rides, went and did some souvenir shopping, and called it a day. Went to the airport and chilled out. So I thought I'd just end with some kind of just a few takeaways from my overall experience with this. Number one, Hollywood Studios is a mess. I don't know what they're going to do to fix it, if they even care to fix it, but it worked out one day great, and then 3 days later, it was a total disaster. So I don't know what to tell you. It's going to be tough, and you just need to prepare yourself that you're going to wait in lines at Hollywood Studios. I'm not even saying like I wouldn't get the Genie Plus for that because, again, Tower of Terror, I saved myself probably 180 minutes just from that one ride the way it was all week. But it's like it's tough to
be a bug.
also-
It is.
Very
it
much.
really is tough to be a
It
bug.
is.
Tell us about booking Thunder in Paradise.
Thunder in paradise. You roll with him, you lose it with your life.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's part of the song.
That was
right?
good. No, I'm impressed.
Thank you. That's what I aim
All
to
right.
do.
Sorry, Lee, go ahead.
No, but again, it's hard to like confidently sell a product when that's the experience you're going to get. You're going to basically get front of the line for maybe 2 rides. One
Well,
being
it's like,
Star-
what's the alternative, though? It's like you're waiting long-ass
Yeah,
lines.
Yeah, your whole day is spent in
Yeah.
line.
So you can't sell that to the customers.
Yeah.
It's like you have to sell it with a caveat, I guess, right?
Yeah, I don't regret buying it, but it's like I also feel like it was a waste because we only got to do 2 things. Now, that kind of brings me to another point. I think that we understand this, but maybe people that are newer to Disney or maybe have not experienced other theme parks like this is that this is not a front of the line pass. This is not Universal Express Pass. If again, go back to the
Which is
Fast
great.
Pass Plus days, you basically got 3 rides. Now they were free, quote unquote. They were included with your price. You didn't pay extra for those 3 rides, but you could maybe get another one after that if you were lucky. Maybe tops you get 5, but it's the same system. You're getting front of the line pass for 3, maybe 4 if you're really lucky. 5 rides.
Okay. Cool.
So just think about that. It's not a front of the line system. You're not getting a front for every single. You are going to still wait in some lines.
Boy, the layman's are going to be pissed.
Yeah. I mean, get there early if you're an early riser and you can do again park drop. But sometimes that's hard. You're already getting up to do the 7 o'clock in the morning thing. Like Animal Kingdom one day opened for 7 o'clock or 7:30. I mean, so we could technically get in at 7. What time do we have to get up to be at the park for 7, man?
That's the thing. Tough. It's like I don't want it to be like a work day. I don't want to get up at 5:30 like I do for work.
Yeah, my job, I call the travel agents do that stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why you book with travel agents. Like, hey, look, you get up. I ain't getting up. That's vacation. Yeah.
Yeah, that says a lot of the travel agents. Like, this is frustrating. That's
So, Fast Pass Plus or Genie Plus?
Yeah. I don't know that it's that different than Fast Pass Plus. I wish we could say it's so much better and you're getting like so much more for your money, but it's kind of the same system. The difference is you don't pick what times you want those passes. You don't got to book them 6 months out, so there's a little more spontaneity to it. And you also can, again, you can do the stacking thing, which works great, and you really get a lot done towards the evening. So if someone like you, Danny, might even be great. You don't have to even show up to the parks till 1 o'clock. It can be stacking from the hotel poolside.
It sounds like what you're saying is that it's better than Fast Pass Plus in the sense that there's an opportunity to get things that you would have never gotten in terms of Fast Pass Plus.
I would agree with that.
But it's worse than Fast Pass Plus in the sense that once you get them, you can't get them again. And the system in and of itself should be better for now that it's for pay. Like, you should be getting more than what you used to get for free.
And not just later in the day, I think.
Right.
I would think.
Yeah. You would think also you wouldn't have all these glitches happening and, having to waste time to go to guest services and this other stuff. And, technology is going to happen, but, again, now you're paying for it. You would expect it to be a little bit better technology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's fair to say. That's fair to
bottom line for me, I'd still do it again. I'd still pay for it, and I would still pay for all the days. I'm not going to do individual. Well, I'm not doing it for Animal Kingdom. I'm not doing it for Epcot, but I am doing it for this. But I think that if you are trying to pinch some pennies and things like that, and you're trying to do a budget, you can probably live without it at Animal Kingdom, and you can probably live without it at Epcot, and you can definitely live without it at Epcot if you can get up early in the morning and hit the parks early. Because you can do Test Track Soarin' Frozen Ever After by 10 o'clock. You're done. Just pay for Remy and you got a day and boom, go spend the rest of the day eating around the world.
Nice. I could do that. Yeah. Well, Lee, thank you for that insight into your Disney Genie Plus experience. Hopefully, if the trip happens for Danny, I'll be curious to hear his take on it. And then a few months later, I'll have my take, and we'll keep your fingers crossed for you, Danny.
Yeah, I'm less optimistic.
Yeah.
Like, I was already unoptimistic, and now...
Even more so.
Yeah, even more so. Maybe that new public relations manager will help me.
Convince you.
Yeah, I won't do any better, but maybe I'll at least think I'll do better.
At least you know you won't be on your own.
I need that person.
Well, it's close to the end of March, and they just posted that, so I don't know if the search will be done by then, by the time you go down, so I can't guarantee that it'll happen, sir.
Yes.
But good luck.
It just make public relations and guest relations.
And guest relations,
some work as well.
Guest services.
Whatever you do, just don't tell the guest that's paying thousands of dollars to come there. You're on your own.
You're on your own. You're on your own. Yeah, don't do that. That's not very Disney.
That is not guest relatable.
That is not Disney. That's not the Disney way, I don't think.
No. Yeah.
If I had to guess. They don't teach that in traditions.
No.
But, we'd be curious to know how you guys have fared with Genie Plus and your experience with the individual lightning lanes, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to share your experiences about that, we're about to tell you how to get in touch with us in just a little bit. Guys, we hope you enjoyed that episode about Lee's Genie Plus experience over at Walt Disney World. If you want to learn more about us, magicourway.com is the way to go. There you'll find our social media links, past episodes, and more. Also, you can get in touch with us through the following ways to share your opinions on Genie Plus. Shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com, or you can call or send us a text message at 1-815-WEEKEND. Yes, I did say text us at 1-815-WEEK.
More weekend.
Nice.
We're all rusty.
Oh, man, I should have stopped after the area code. That's crazy. It's been a while since I messed that up. I'm ashamed.
Don't be
ashamed.
I'm going to go flog myself now.
No, we'll do it afterwards.
I'll feel bad. That's all right.
I got the fanny paddle right up here.
Yeah.
We'll get you.
I got a belt too in the
On the
truck.
way out. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go James Evans on you. You won't do it again.
You did what, Julian?
Look, all I want to know is what horses eat. And horses eat.
Hey, Rob Whitefield's here. Deadpool, Cable, X-Force, Domino, Marvel Comics, Image Comics, all of it. You guys, what is up? Eli Ivory. What a great name. Eli Ivory.
And a female
comic
sheep is
guru.
called a...
I'm here to talk about you.
There you
I
go.
am here to say, check out ivorycomics.com. That's right, you. Check out ivorycomics.com. ivorycomics.com. If you're not doing that, you're missing out. You're missing out. The Savages comic cannot be beat, cannot be surpassed. You need to check it out, experience it for yourself.
I'm going to ship that to
And
you.
you know the story. It's all about the glory. Congrats to you and all the magic that you're making with your Ivory Comics. Eli Ivory, comic book guru. Check out ivorycomics.com. Comic book guru. Eli Ivory. The whole package. Deadpool said to. Do it. ivorycomics.com. Right now. Liefeld out.
Yeah, there's a lot of heroes out there, and Mr. Liefeld's always one of them. And of course, just like you said, you check out the Ivory Comics website, you see all that goodness, and there's also interviews and blog posts, and it's just stuff that I've done, and get all that good loving. All right, get all that good loving. Of course, the love still transcends over here to the Magic Our Way podcast, because there's a link on the Ivory Comics website to this podcast, so you never miss a beat. An episode, a trip report, who's saying what on Genie Plus, should there be a Genie, not be a Genie, why is the Genie blue? And as long as we're talking about it, you always get a link to it. So you can also find me on Facebook.com, Eli H. Ivory, as long as you're a real person. Nice to meet you. If you're a bot, cannot greet you. And I definitely don't want to go ahead and marry you because I ain't got no money to give no bot, because that's just totally wrong, just on the principle of that. Project Geisha has a Facebook page, so facebook.com/Project Geisha. Thank you for the people that have gone in and put a like to it, so you can see all the good stuff right there. Instagram, I'm right there posting up hearts and likes, EIvory504. And of course, on Twitter, I can be found at Hancock10166. So if you appreciate the madness there, you're just bringing me the gladness. Thank you very much.
And if you want to book a vacation down to Walt Disney World so you can have an experience with the whole Genie Plus individual Lightning Lane selection system, you could do it through Lee of Magical Moments Vacations. Lee, how do they do this?
Just give me a call at 832-431-1621. That's 832, you're on your own. 832-TUFFSHIT.
F-U.
Call me at Lee at MagicCarway.com.
Wow.
You can find me on Facebook at Facebook.com/Lastavica Travel. That's LASTOVICA Travel. Instagram, you got a friend in Lee Travel. And on TikTok, you got a friend in Lee. And if you do any of that, we'll get you hooked up and booked up with no.
On that old Vika.
That is funny. Like, it's like Mission Impossible. Like, if you can't get on the boat, the Disney company will disavow any knowledge of your existence.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. The last time I heard All Your Own was by like a Bobby Brown song or like an R&B song. I didn't imagine that for a trip.
Yeah.
All by myself.
That's what you're going to say. You're going to see me on Facebook
Disney
live.
says you're on your own.
You're going to see me right outside the boat.
I know,
You're going to see my family looking at me like,
Woo.
He's on his own.
He's on his own.
I'm going to get a phone call from everybody. Go pick up Daddy. He's on his own right now. Like, what y'all do? Y'all left him?
Yeah, he's on
his own.
Bahamian Island.
He's on his own. He's on his own.
own.
he's only 12 hours away. Go get him.
Go get him. He's on his own. We're going
He's
to
got
enjoy
COVID.
Oh, no. Don't get COVID, lawless.
You got the vid.
Hey, what are you going to do?
I hope this works out for y'all, though. Real talk.
Yeah, I hope we get a trip report
You
about
deserve
your
it.
Disney cruise.
COVID is,
But-
that should be pushing. That's caused y'all too much strife.
And to be fair, the lady on the line did say that she was going to do her best to send me some positive pixie dust through the air.
Did she really say that?
Lee?
Yeah, I mean, Yes.
It's exactly the word she used. I'm going to be sending you some extra pixie dust.
She gonna
so that
pray
way you
for
and your
you.
family.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly it.
She's gonna pray for you,
Like,
darling.
no, girl, I need advice, girl.
I'm gonna call on baby Jesus to help you with
Pixie
this,
dust, girl, I
darling.
need
Thoughts and prayers, Danny. Thoughts and prayers.
Yes.
Thoughts
Yeah.
and prayers, Dan.
No, girl, I need your manager. That's what I need.
God will shine his light upon thee, and you will go on this cruise.
What does your manager's procedure say?
It was a Disney version of sending positive vibes. Sending positive pixie
Wow.
dust. I'm serious.
Oh,
So
That's
Yeah.
what you say next time you go to pay. You be like, I just sent you a positive vibe. Yeah, I didn't send you cash. I sent you pixie dust. There's some sand I got. I just sent it to you.
I put hope in there.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
I'm surprised she fits in there.
Yeah. But she does.
Yeah. All right, guys, look, in addition, there's so many ways to support the show as a whole, and you can find them all on our website, magicourway.com. Plus, if you want to elevate your support of the Magic Our Way podcast, go to patreon.com/Magic Our Way. There you will find 6 awesome tiers to support this show. Any way in which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. We also want to thank you for being a loyal listener, and we always love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are always welcome on the Magic Our Way podcast, so make sure you get in touch with us today. So, Mohicans, we say Kwahariti. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.
I have every intention of eating those bananas for breakfast, but I still somehow end up with
And a
tacos.
hammock split.
Hey, it's Lee from the Magic